If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is September the 16th, 2022, and today the topic is false doctrine. First, I want to start by saying happy Friday and happy anniversary to my husband, Nadario Marquez Says Senior. So God be the glory for him. As I reflect on this, our 6th anniversary, I just want to, again, thank the Lord for him. Thank God for him being who he is and how he is. I'm thankful for him not only deciding to walk through life with me, but for his encouragement, for his support, for him, quote unquote, allowing me to be me, in I guess every sense of those words. I enjoy our time laughing together. I enjoy our time in deep discussions. I enjoy our time of parenting and of course, our time as lovers. Look, that goes without saying for me, right? Yeah, I just really appreciate this time in my life, and I appreciate him again for not only being willing to walk through life with me, but allowing God to confirm and I guess be that physical representation of God's love for me. So shout out to you, Mr. Says. I know you got work today, and I guess we're going to try to celebrate tomorrow. But on this, our 6th anniversary, I just wanted to make that known. Whether he's going to listen to this or not, I don't know. But anywho, I'll try to make it known in other ways as well. But yeah. Whew, false doctrines, y'all. All right. Well, how do we get to this today? Well, first, if I talk about yesterday slightly, I mean, not too much happened. It was a pretty chill day overall. Took care of a few little chores. Was trying to, get our son and focus on some biblical content, as well as, it was funny because we've been watching, again, I think I shared with you all before that we've been watching this show called Superbook. And when I put it on the big TV, rather than just giving him a phone or what he calls his device, I noticed that soon as we sat in front of, I turned on the big screen or whatever the case is, he was like, "Can I have some popcorn?" And it just reminded me of that, a few weeks ago where me and him had popcorn and watched a movie. And I don't know if he just attributes that to, anytime we sit in front of the TV now, he thinks that we should have popcorn. I don't know. But I was like, I'll pop the, it was one more bag that we had. And so I was like, because he requests in such a nice way, and it seemed to be a fond memory that he's holding on to, I was like, I don't have a problem popping the little guy some popcorn. So we did that yesterday. And I noticed yesterday he was doing a lot of building as well. He was, it was basically the huge Jenga that my guy, Broke Rose Bites, had brought it for my party. And And so since then, NJ has been playing with him and building, and he's just been building so many like interesting uh, towers, I guess you would say that they are. He'll build them with cups. He'll build them with these blocks. He'll build a combination of the cups and blocks. It's a whole thing. But yeah, it's very interesting. Watching him build different things and be so proud of it and be like, "Mommy, look," and all of that. So it was a lot of that type of stuff going on yesterday. And then we both took a good nap at some point yesterday, which was a blessing. Now he's also, I don't know if I told y'all, but the other day you know, I I've made a deal with him that if he took a nap, I would give him M&Ms and stuff like that. So I'm noticing like when he does stuff now, he wants M&Ms, and I'm like, okay, son, sometimes you got to just do things because it's the right thing to do, and not because you're gonna get M&Ms. But anywho, that's what was going on with him and whatnot. There was a lot of stuff going on with me mentally yesterday, if I'm honest. Um, on one hand, it seems like conviction, but then on the other hand, I'm wondering if it was a distraction. Even though, again, I'm human, you know what I'm saying? I'm not out here saying that I'm perfect or anything like that, but there was just some things that I was, um, after a certain uh, moment, I'll just put it like that, after a certain moment, I was led to look at, I guess check in on Brother Joshua, right? Because I think I shared with you all that he had, a testimony that he was feeling like the Lord was, leading him in a direction. I was like, okay, well, that's good, X, Y, and Z. Um, so I felt led to go check it out. And so I came across this interview that he was doing, and on one hand, it sounded good, but on the other hand, I was like, there was some things that I guess I just was like, Then I ended up watching I guess the most recent video and whatnot, and there just was a few things where I just was like, we got to be careful what we preach, teach, all of that, right? I'm again not puffing myself up or anything, but I just feel like even as I do this, I try to be very clear with y'all about like what I'm reading in the Bible and then what's my own idea or thought. And I just think we gotta be careful to not be confirming things that aren't biblical, right? Not to be like, and yes, so I've come to this conclusion, so this is what it is. Like I'm just very hesitant to do that, and I'm just it's interesting to observe people that speak in boldness or with this boldness in that area, but then what they're saying is not lining up with Bible, right? It's not lining up with uh I guess biblical principles and things. So that kind of thing, I guess we should be careful about. I'm not gonna say that my brother in Christ is a false prophet or nothing like that. Because I see that he is. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking questions of the Bible and everything. I think that it's a good thing to seek. But I think it's also like, what are you going to use to form your opinion? Are you going to use the Bible, or are you going to use some other ideas? Like, and I think that's where things get a little bit questionable. So for those that are seeking, right, for those that are, we're out here, we're doing these Bible studies, again, there might be pulp, there might be things that we don't like about what we're reading, and we're trying to get a deeper understanding. And yes, I'm pretty, I myself, I use outside resources to help me understand some things, that I may not fully understand when I read it in the Bible. But again, I feel like the resources that I use are still, influenced by biblical principles. It's not things that are like questionable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For me, I guess that's how I study, and again, on one hand, it's like, well, Lord, why you got me seeing this? Like, why did you even lead me to look at that yesterday? And we are supposed to talk soon, so and I'm just praying for him and everything like that. But regardless of him in particular, this conversation about false doctrine is real. It's something that we should be aware of and that we should be wary of and seek God for, right? The information, confirmations of the things that we hear and see. So y'all know I'm not just talking, like they say, out of the side of my neck. I mean, here's some Bible. 1 John 4:1 says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world." So, is what I'm hearing from God? Is what I'm hearing and reading and studying or whatever the case is, does it line up with Bible, right? Now I know, again, we question the Bible, right? A lot of people don't believe that it's accurate. They don't believe what has been said about it, and then they also don't believe what's in it, basically. And I I don't know if I said this yesterday, but here I am going to say it again. I know me and my husband had a conversation on Tuesday, and I was just letting him know that is like one of my main questions. Like, why is it that we don't take the Bible literally? A lot of us don't take it literally for some reason, and I don't understand it. I get in regards to like prophecy, the prophecy aspect, because it's like, okay, these are future things where, maybe there's some things that we've yet to see, or, again, I know my husband brought up the point, like maybe the biblical figures, they only describe things the way that they know how to at that time and whatnot. So and I get that, right? I get that, for example, when you look at Revelations and you look at like biblical prophecies and things that are like heavenly or spiritual, they described it in the best way they could. So, for example, when the biblical author described a wheel with eyes, with eyes all over it, now is it an actual wheel with eyes all over? I don't know, but maybe that was the best way that they could describe that, what they were seeing, and I get that part. But then the rest of it, right, in my understanding, is just like a historical account of different things, either these people's lives, either Jesus and what he said and did, or historical accounts of like documents of like the kings and all this different type of stuff. So I don't. So because of that, I don't understand why we don't take it literally. But hey, again, everybody can ask their questions and stuff. I mean, but I'm just saying, if you're going to be a believer, right? If you're going to be somebody that say, "Hey, I believe the Bible," then how can you also say that you don't take it literally? I don't, that part I don't understand. Those that don't believe, then that y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. But those that are saying that they believe, that's what I'm talking about. And so how do we know, right? Well, it says test the spirits. I mean, I know. I guess I felt confirmation to talk about this today when I read. Even though I didn't write it down, I wrote it down for the Go Deeper section, but you guys can read it on your own. But it's 2 Corinthians 11:13-15. And at some point in that verse, it talks about, well, I'm going to paraphrase here, and it's just pretty much saying at the end of it, it might not say exact verbatim this, but it's saying something along the lines of like, you're going to know them by their fruits, or basically what they're like is going to be revealed. Like, what I should have wrote it down, so my apologies for that. But I don't know. I guess I just was feeling like it was something that we all should just read for ourselves versus me just reading it. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we do know that verse. Hey, you're gonna know them by their fruit. Sometimes, like when I come across different things, right, and people talk about these different ideas, I wonder, like, what is the purpose of bringing up such information, right? Well, I'm trying not to go too deep on the individual that inspired or was part of the inspiration for this, but here we go. So basically, long story short, like one of the things is he's doubting the validity of the Bible being the Word of God. And then I guess he has his I guess he's receiving that certain words aren't translated correctly and X, Y, and Z. Now, again, for me personally, this is another thing I was talking to my husband about on Tuesday, which is crazy that here I am still talking about this. But anyway, basically, me personally, I really hesitate to believe that people that lost their life translating the Bible would have translated it wrong. Like, I mean, because if you hear about like the different, and again, how do we know anything? But when you hear about the different people, like I believe his name was William Tyndale, and all these people that was like doing their best to translate the Bible in English so that people could read it, and so that we're benefiting off now, those that speak English, and like all of that. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't, if I know that I'm going to lose my life or something, I would do my best to do it accurately, personally, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. Like, I really hesitate to say that, but there's people that believe that X, Y, and Z about the translations and whatnot. And again, all I say is this: if you struggle about the translation in X, Y, and Z, then I think it would behoove us to go and study, to learn the language that it was written in, and then go study that, and then you'll know. Now, am I going to do all that? Probably not, personally. But for those that need to do that, I think we should. And if you're not going to do that, then I would just be very hesitant to say that it's not accurate. That's just me. But, I mean, but people will be bold with their statements. So that's one thing. And then on top of that, I'm like, it's just, I get that we might not like some things that's in it. I get that we might not agree with some things that are in the Bible. But I don't know if that changes if it's true or not. I don't know if that changes if it should be valid in your life or not. Like, if you don't agree or something, then what needs to change is you, from what I'm understanding. From what I'm understanding, but what I'm reading and whatnot, like our minds is the thing that needs to change, not the Word of God. That might be pulp. So let me keep going. Galatians 1:8-9. It says, "But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to the one we preach to you, let him be accursed, as we have said before. So now I say, as if anyone is preaching to you a gospel contrary to the one you received, let him be accursed." So, I mean, again, I just really hesitate to be out here saying anything opposite of what the Bible is saying. Like, I can share my ideas or say, hey, maybe I don't agree with X, Y, and Z. But I'm not going to say that, hey, listen to me and do what I'm doing. That's a totally different thing to say and affirm, like, yes, my belief is accurate. Like, and then your belief goes completely against the Bible that you say you believe. Like, on one hand you believe, but then on the other hand you don't. Like, and if you're in that place, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with being in that place, and I think it's good, and I think you should question, and I think you should seek, and I believe that you will find, right? However, in those, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with sharing that, because again, I think it's good for people to see the ups and downs of Christianity and being a believer, and because that's honest, right? That's being transparent and saying, hey, this is what I'm studying. This is what I might not agree with. This is what I'm seeking more understanding for. That's good. But to be then saying, so my conclusion is X, Y, and Z, and this is right. And then it don't line up. That's the thing that's kind of like questionable. And so, on one hand, I'll be like, Lord, why you got me out here talking about this? But on the other hand, I'm like, hey, I guess, I'm a willing person that's getting up in the morning and seeking God and whatnot. So here I am sharing. But, regardless, man, even me, again, like this thing says, like, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, right, the least I can say about me is I'm not saying, hey, yeah, So listen to me and only listen to what I'm talking about, and what I'm saying is absolutely facts. Like, I can sit here and say that, hey, this is what I'm reading. I might think this. Hey, you got free will to draw your own conclusion. That's where I'm at. And I think that, I don't know. You guys be led by your own mind in regards to that. As we seek, I just feel like as we're seeking God, like, I think we should, and if we're not, and if it doesn't line up, but see, I don't think, and this is why I can't, there's the grace and mercy part, because I'm not even sure if, we how can I say it, Lord? Okay, I hate to keep referring to the gentleman. No offense against him. I'm just saying that I'm not sure if he's familiar, right? I'm not sure, because I feel like, a lot of times, again, we're seeking knowledge in so many different places, right? And then we're receiving it for so many different places. And then we're like, and whatever it is that we're gravitating to the most, that's what we like, or whatever we like the most, then we kind of gravitate to that. Versus the Bible. And yeah, well, there's a word for that. There's a word for that. 2 Timothy 3:5. Whew, y'all. Okay, here we go. Having an appearance of godliness but denying its power, avoid such people. But then there's another thing. 2 Timothy 4:3. It's for the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but have itching ears. They will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions. Ooh, y'all. Oh, God. Do we not do that? We do that, y'all. Come on. Y'all, everybody know we do that. And the thing is, it's like, we got to be careful. So again, hey, y'all, seek, you know what I'm saying? Study to show yourself approved, X, Y, and Z. But if you're going to say you're a believer, then regardless of whatever you come across and whatnot, you got to line that up with Bible and see if it fits. If not, if you're going to claim to be a believer again, then that's the type of information we got to reject and understand that is a false doctrine. And this is just the beginning of like this type of study, y'all. Honestly, like, it just goes so much deeper. Because then you get into like doctrines of devils, and you get into like people. I think there's a difference between people that are like intentionally going out and sowing seeds of discord versus somebody that's studying and seeking and don't know. You know what I mean? That, like, those are two different things. And so that's why I say I don't pass a judgment on the individual again. And if the Lord wants me to say X, Y, and Z, I guess in a biblical way, when I talk to the gentleman, then fine. I'm willing to do that, Lord. But as for me and this study this morning, that's the juice, y'all. I just hope that we, again, don't be easily swayed by false doctrines. Again, line up everything and test the spirits. I would say with the word of God, and that's the juice. The Bible verse of today is James 5:13. It says, is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. Is any merry? Let him sing psalms. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Everyone is stuck at home, but life is still happening around us every day. Birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and celebrations. Send your friends and family the gift of wine from the comforts of home. Wine shop at home with Miracle of Wine. Wine, gift baskets, wine accessories, and more at miracleofwine.com.